First, we're gonna interview Miss Shar, and then we're gonna have a sexual awakening with Kurt Russell. In cowboy outfit, I hope. One can dream. Yes. Where's the paper at? It's in your hands. It's all the many grammar write-ups you have for me. I've got a full paper full of red marks ready for Wilso's grading. F. All this thug music, what the hell? I don't appreciate you guys' sense of humor enough. I realized I made a fool of myself on the N-word thing. It's like I got all pissed off, but you guys were making those jokes about the N-word thing. Is it Knickers? Nike? Night? I thought to myself a week later, I'm like, I'm an idiot. I should have recognized that for the joke that it was. Get your knickers in a twist constantly. Anyway, we'll see you on Mixer. I'm sure they'll think knickers is just a little too close. Bro, it's our stream theme from now on. What? Give me the loot or the thug anthem. Yeah, we need some emotes. We need some emotes to match the thug stuff. Hanging out with our thugs. Like the word, I'm gonna say it too. Niggardly does not have any racial connotation whatsoever. The senator in the state of Ohio, Sherrod Brown, he used it. Of course, the Anzes, he uses it in his comedy routine. He talks about it, but it's true, niggardly. It just means you're cheap. Of course, it has an unfortunate. When people get married in this stream, it's thug matrimony. When we visited children's toy stores, thugs are us. Excuse me. Thug mansion. Yes, it is now the stream theme. I've got some ideas for the future. I had an allergic reaction to that joke. Thugs are us. It's like Welsh. Like you Welsh on your bets. I mean, you would think that that probably has some kind of like prejudice connotations as well. But it apparently doesn't, so have at it. And maybe Thugs doesn't either. Maybe I became Anthony Birch. I think I've become what I hate. Isn't that the fate of all men? Except I can say, isn't that the fate of all men, but I'll say it in a non-grammatically correct sentence with improper word usage. So will write in big capital red letters D. D minus. Effort was made, but was not repaid. A bus caps that chalky white ass. Hyperion snipers look kind of cool. Welsh or Welch on your bets? Is that true? I thought Welch was a grape juice. I'm guessing it is true. It's kind of cool too. Badass repair bot. A related colloquialism. Colloquialism. I think I put some extra syllables in there. Colloquialism is the verb to Welch, to renege. See, there's another renege. As in Welch on a dealer bet, which may be derived from an age-old English stereotype. Oh, well, it is based upon a stereotype. Wait, may. No guarantee. I started wondering about, like, my grandma's like, back in Cleveland, Ohio, the world was my oyster. Like, what a strange saying. The world is my oyster. Where the hell does that come from? I guess it comes from Shakespeare. One of his plays, there's a character who says that the world was their oyster because they were going to crack it open with a sword and get the pearl out of it. Back in Cleveland, the world was my oyster. We'd go down to the Six Flags. We'd have ourselves a dime dog and a ride on the Ferris wheel.
Now Tugger's brought me to one of the greatest places to fight in North America. Fucking New York. Lots of minorities here, and they don't take
As unreliable oath breakers, though the etymology remains conjectural. Well, considering my ancestral ethnicity apparently derives from the Welsh people, that explains my lack of consistency in streaming and the constant enemies we manage to make. Friends, enemies, friends, enemies. We are especially skilled in this. Look, I said I stream. I never said when. This song is dumb, though. I remember this episode. South Park was better back then, I think. The old South Park. It's now become like the old Simpsons. It's like seeing a big probe come out of Cartman's ass. Just had a raw funniness to it. It wasn't clever. It was cheap, but it was still fucking funny. Amen. Water doesn't like the new South Park. I disagree, Risa. Unsubs. Well, to be fair, I have not watched much of South Park. I've only caught very few bits and pieces of it. Because I watch almost no television since, like, Magic Fantasyland, that really elaborate episode. But, like, animation's gotten so good. I recently rewatched Team America World Police. It's like, this movie's underappreciated. It's so stupid. I love when they blow up. It's right at the opening, but when they blow up France, it's like, we saved you. The Eiffel Tower gets torn, it falls down, the Arc de Triomphe and explodes to kill the one terrorist. You know, Zane is Captain Flint's little brother. We've been talking about that. That's really cool, though. How'd you end up figuring that out, Potter? Oh, damn it. I was lucky. Damn, this is... Oh, 3 out of 6 waves. Okay. Thought it wasn't the regular 5-round arena. Thought it was a 6-round arena. Yeah, dude, we need a command for this. Give me the loot. Give me the loot. If there's any legendary hunts, they're gonna happen with Borderlands 2. We need to have that as our RNG. Pray to RNGesus. Yeah, he's got a really cool backstory. He's the good brother. He's related to Baron Flint. He's related to Captain Flint. Pretty sweet. Apparently he's also related to the Zafrids as well. You know, he chose to be the good guy. They like send assassins. The family sends assassins to check on him to see if he's still alive. That's how those families say hi. Say hi to him. Oh yeah, nice. We're talking about the same thing. It's pretty cool. Yeah, he's got a good story. I'm excited to play him. I'm excited. I've been kind of iffy, like maybe I chose the most boring main, but I'm happy with my decision. I'm just excited to dig in, get to killing. If we're not banned for using a synonym of cheap. Oh, fudge. I'm gonna main Zane. How far is Borderlands 3 from Borderlands 2? They said it's a 1-to-1, so it's been 7 years, so it's been 7 years in the Borderlands world as well. Who are you gonna main, Water? Yeah, I'm gonna be Zane. Adam was gonna be Mose, and then Adam was gonna be Amari, then Adam was gonna be Zane, and then Adam was gonna be Mose, and Adam finally settled upon Flack, and then 2 weeks later asked him again. I think Ashton's gonna be Amari. I know that something's gonna be Flack. So what do you think you're gonna be good? Who do you think you're gonna be? I mean, I'm gonna eventually, like everyone will say, play them all. But yeah, Zane's gonna be my main. I thought long and hard about it too, but I've already done like 3 different builds on him. I've been really investigating the skill tree. Just gonna go hard down Amari. I ultimately didn't want to do Mose and Flack just because I thought there'd be so many Mose and Flacks. But I like that Zane has a lot of support stuff. I like that Zane has crowd control. I think he's got a lot of potential, and he'll be also one I can get like creative with, you know. I'm gonna play all the characters simultaneously. Mose is gonna be his main, but Flack is gonna be the 24-hour stream. Now what's that tell you? Yeah, but how about you, Water? Have you decided yet? Zane or Flack? You're gonna do Digiclone. Well, I've got 2 builds right now. One uses the barrier and the Digiclone, and the other uses the Digiclone and the shield. But I'm continuing to dig into his skill tree. Like I said, when I decided I was gonna main him, I decided, well, you know, I'm gonna be streaming him and shit. I'm gonna want to make content. I better start really learning the ins and outs of this guy like the back of my hand. So I've really been studying his skill tree when I get the chance. I've done probably 2 or 3 like sessions where I just really sat down and read and thought about it. Just read over his skills over and over again. So I'm not settled on that yet. I mean, we really also won't mostly know until we look at what class mods and anointed loot are available and all that good stuff. But I do know what I'm currently trying to do is just really know his skill tree like the back of my hand, so I know what direction I want to go. And then I've thrown some builds together for Mose, and I've thrown some builds together for Amari. I've got one, well, to be fair, I got 1 build each for each of them. I'll probably build a couple more. I haven't even looked at Flack's tree much, except for what people have told me. I'll just wing those, you know, I'll just take those to 50 and have fun with them. But since Zane is going to be my main, I'll try to really master him. Calm, cool, collected looks like a really OP skill. Yeah, are you starting to lean towards Zane? I thought you were leaning towards being a Mose main, Water. You seem like Mose. I just don't like Zane playstyle. What don't you like about it, Adam? Also, I'll probably never play Zane. Not really my style. Adam is gonna... That's how Adam took the play all the characters simultaneously. You don't like what that he's... I mean, he can play pretty damn fast. Ultimately, if you're using his Digiclone and switching with him, switching back and forth a lot, which seems stupid at first, but it's actually really OP because you get fucking shields every time you do it. And every single time his shield breaks, Zane's shield, you can go and grab your Digiclone shield. But the thing is, you can then switch places with your Digiclone, which will will make your shields recharge again, and then you can just like keep doing it over and over again. There's all kinds of stuff involving shields, just completely eliminating his cooldown, and on top of that there's a ton of skills that make his shields instantly come back. And there's skills that are like the larger the shield, the more gun damage, and it's just a bunch of... He's got a bunch of really tiny synergies, like... It's not one large synergy, like say the gun... Say Brick would be my example. Brick is all about, you know, the explosive damage, and so you put all the tree together to create one really large synergy that comes together at the very end. Whereas Zane is like many tiny complementary synergies. Hence the Gadget Master, I suppose. And getting those right. So like you can do crowd control, you can do survivability, you can do fast gun damage, you can do a lot of cool stuff though too. I still think he's a mix of Toby and the Baroness. That's my take on him. The shield's got potential, but the drone and the Digiclone are probably going to be everyone's favorite. I can't stand Zan's voice. Well, fair enough. He's got micro plays instead of macro plays. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Whereas it looks like your Amari's definitely going to have macro plays. I mean, she's just going to control the battlefield. So much AoE, so much splash damage, so much elemental shit, so much speed. There's a lot more speed in Borderlands 3, which is going to be nice. Not just the movement, like the ability to slide and mantle, but I've yet to read a skill tree that doesn't have movement speed attached to it. And then I'm seeing that it's also on the artifacts, and it's also on the anointed loot that you get more movement speed, so... And then there's like skills that can make everybody run faster, like Zane's shield. Just like Toby, you run through the shield, everybody runs faster. But Borderlands 3 is just like, you know, they say mayhem awaits. I think that's literally what that means. Like, it's gonna be so fucking fast. Fast and furious. And just like Apex, when you slide down a hill, you gain speed, so you can start to kind of look at the map like your own personal roller coaster ride. Then you top that with a ton of movement speed abilities. It'll be fun. It'll be fun, because there's really good moments in Borderlands 1 and in the Underdome of all places when you get like low gravity and you get high speed and you can just fly around the map. That is actually the only good thing about the Underdome. So just imagine that naturally. You don't have to rely on RNG, it's just how your character plays, just zipping around. And then of course with Zane, another, like I was mentioning, he can switch with his Digiclone, so it's all that kind of movement speed, and then you have this ability to just like fucking stagger and fly and be in multiple places at once, you know? Sith Lord Squeeze! What up, man? Thanks for being here. It's been quite a while. How are you? I hope you're well, dude. March. Been since March. Summer. Summer has passed. Well, how was your summer? I'm just gonna cast the magic attack as much as possible and spread them elements around. It's gonna be sick. It's gonna be sick. Literally and figuratively. Those kill skills don't go down either. You're definitely leaning towards Zane, aren't you, Walter? He's also been looking at the tree. $20 and I'll go down. Amari or die. Amari looks fun. He's just the only Vault Hunter that I'm not super hyped on. So you're gonna do a Flak run, then you're gonna do a Moze run, then you'll do an Amari run, but you'll probably never touch Zane, Adam. I've been working my ass off. Hey, good for you, man. Respect. I'm gonna take a week off from Borderlands 3. Nice. Feels good. Feels good. That's smart. Hell yeah. Who are you gonna main, Sith? Full week off. Hell yeah. This is a little bit like history repeating itself right now. The same shit happened to us the last time. We're just not dying close to enough to anything. Oh shit. Twice in a row. I'm dying too far back. I need to be gunzerking more. We'll play like Lilith Reina mix. Does she have some support skills on her? She brings back shields. Oh my god. Zane and Amari are gonna have a really nice synergy. Borderlands 3 is going to be an event. He's going to be a Zane main. Liking his skill tree, feel like he's going to be fun on the tactical side. There you go. Sweet. Hell, we got a lot of Zane mains in here now. I'll probably do Flak because this motherfucking crits. I mean, we can have 2 Zanes. There can be more than 1 Zane. This is Borderlands. Hell, that's, you know, Borderlands. Most of you guys, one of the... sorry, Battleborn. Of course, Battleborn, one of the things is everybody kind of had their own support, which was cool. Like, I was Miko, Ashton was Reyna, you were Reyna Walter. Tyrell was Alani. But most of us ended up meeting around the time of Battleborn because we all played support, so... Just because I'm Zane doesn't mean you can't be Zane. But Sith's gonna be Zane. Sith will be the real Zane. Fuck it, I'm just gonna be Adam. I'm gonna go Adam class. In the Adam class, the way it works is exactly like the frag trap from the pre-sequel. You never know what the hell you're gonna get. You press the alt button, you might be Titanfall. You press the alt button, you might be in Paladins. You press the alt button, hey, you might be Riley Reid. Sometimes you press the alt button and you get stuck on Pandora and everybody just gets pissed off and leaves. I love the pets. I want to play as Flak. Oh shit. Waters made his decision. Waters made his decision. Well, to be fair, I think you might be the only Flak in our group. Well, something's gonna be Flak. I don't know what Tyrell's gonna be yet. I think he's leaning towards Amari as well. I haven't been able to convince Steven to get the game. I don't think Wilso's getting the game. Not yet, anyway. Flak is gonna feel like an easier Necromancer. I mean, the thing that Flak's got going for him, because I don't know too much about Flak, except for, of course, this crazy crit build where he can get crits without actually hitting a crit, is that he's got a fucking cool-ass character. I just want to know more about him. I loved his character trailer. I want to know more about this fucking rogue AI running around with animals. The hunt is forever. There must be an alpha, and the hunt is forever. The voice actor sounds great. Like, yeah, but other than that, I don't know shit about him. But he looks badass, and he sounds badass, so... Looks like a duck, walks like a duck. Hey, it's a little bit like history repeating itself. Strange. This time we're gonna make it out, maybe. Oh, we did. We're taking way too much damage. Hell with it. Booster shield was okay, but it's time to switch back over. Do I not have it with me? Oh, I do. Alright, we need some survivability. Sham. I choose you, Sham! And we need some more deeps. Quasar won't necessarily apply more deeps, but it's a singularity. And it's gonna do more than a fire in this situation. I really want mind control mobs with Flak. That would be sick, actually. That's a good idea, Fit Man. I'll get behind you on that idea. I like that. That's cool. It's like that hidden feature in Fallout 76. It was like half-developed content, but it was in there enough that it actually worked, that you could actually grab a pet. Flak I feel like is gonna be an easier Necromancer. No, Amari's the Avatar. The thugs! This ain't good. I had no more time. Damn, man. I gotta get some more survivability in there. Our damage is okay, but I'm not living. My Flak build is just critical build. My Moe's build just basically every skill and shield tree. So is she like gonna be like a Juggernaut, or is she gonna be... You going for like a tank build? But you mentioned criticals about them, you gendering piece. Bigot trash. Alright, let's go ahead and put that in the quotes there, Ashton. You jittering piece of bigoted trash. It's gonna be quote 189, Ashton. Congratulations, sir. You get an air horn. Alright, that's not quite an air horn, but let's live with it. How you deserve an air horn. Sounds good. Sounds good, man. Just basically do. We will see how fast the mobs die when they fight for you, though. Randy Varnell warned in an interview with Eurogamer or some shit. He's like, don't let them die. He said, you're the Beastmaster. You're supposed to take care of your pets. So unlike the Gage, the Necromancer, Death Trap, you gotta call Death Trap out, and then he disappears after a while, unless he gets kills, all that. But, you know, they're out all the time now. So I wonder what happens if they die. Wonder how, like you're saying, Fitman, how easily they die, and I wonder what the process is if they do die. Some of it is these fucking robots. Because the robots are just destroying my shields. Alright, now we need to cut the distance quick. This is where we're getting messed up a lot. Yeah, it's like those drones and those ion bots keep knocking our shield off. That's the issue. If you don't yell out, I'm the Juggernaut, bitch, I would be disappointed. Do that constantly, Adam. I'm the Juggernaut! My main Maya build was the Baru build. I'm hoping we get to do a little more thinking for ourselves this time, though, Adam. Like, because, you know, Saul, we're going to be at a point here in a few levels where it's like, oh, yeah, we're playing the same Saul as everybody else's Saul. And I'm really, really hopeful with Borderlands 3 that's not something we see. That you can tell Ashton's Amari from Tyrell's, or you can tell your Moe's from anybody else's Moe's. You can tell something's Flak from Walter's Flak. And Fitman's Flak. I need to actually be in the shit. Here's what'll do it. I hope that's the case. Because Borderlands 2 has that like extreme bottleneck where there's millions and millions of guns and millions of options, and then it comes down to like, here's two options. Unkept Herald, Ruby, Grog Nozzle. Alright, new checkpoint. We haven't quite made it to this point yet. The Quasar's got a really good, strong singularity pull. Not good. Okay, one more thing. We haven't been nursing our second wins too bad, so we're still doing okay. Grog chain landing, right. Zero was super guilty of that. Really only had two viable options, right. And the other one, if you didn't use Gibbed, was not really going to happen. Do an infinity build, which is certainly what anyone who didn't use Gibbed did. Or you can do a melee build, which if you could use Gibbed, you were definitely going to do because it's a lot more fun and interesting. Yeah, but I think that's a huge issue. Again, we've talked about this plenty, but you have a game and the strength is that you have the widest diversity of loot available in any game ever. They've literally got a Guinness World Record for it. And it boils down into just a few items and just a few builds. So, I think Borderlands 3 is going to have much stronger purples, and that's also going to make a huge difference. It's having, because of the scaling being more like the pre-sequel, soft and exponential, we should be able to, epics should be viable. Even rares maybe, but probably epics. But having epics be viable means you can run with a lot, you can still continue to experiment with loot. Which is what you want in this game, in my opinion. Best gun was a unique blue Sandhawk. Dude, the uniques end up coming like, you know, they stepped up the quest game. The whole RPG aspect of this game was so much better than Borderlands 1. And its side quests actually told stories and had dialogue. And changed the world as a whole. And then later game, whether they meant for this to happen or not, maybe they did. The uniques that you would get from those side quests end up being largely the best games in the best guns in the game. I'm gonna go down. These guys are hitting fucking hard. This is my risky move. Risky move is turning out to be risky. I'm nursing second winds way too hard. Fucking right gun wasn't firing that whole time, man. That sucks. A lot of games have that problem though. Diablo 3 is generally dealing with from season to season, and it still means I don't like it though. I mean, I always hear that argument, like, oh, it's a meta. The meta sucks, and then people always say, well, every game has a meta. It still doesn't mean it doesn't suck. I mean, especially in Borderlands. Again, because of all the loot. I liked in these MMOs we talked about earlier, like, say, Dofus, that my buddy was able to figure out a completely unique build that ended up kicking ass. Like, that to me is ideal. When there's... everything hits fairly hard and you can always do at least a little bit of damage, then you can start to experiment and start to figure out new things that work, new things that are OP, and it makes it a lot more diverse. Changes the pace up, keeps it fresh, because you feel like you're still going for something. There's something new to chase. So my buddy chased down this bow, because he was a knight. He figured out that the knight actually has a lot of mobility, so he'd make a really good archer. No one had thought about this on the server up to this point. This is a true story. He became one of the top players in the world on Dofus, because he came up with his own build. He crafted this bow that also had movement on it. So now the knight could move like 15 pieces because it was a turn-based game. And he only did like 5 damage per shot, but it didn't matter because he could outmaneuver anybody. So he ended up like going on the hardcore server with this build and just fucking destroying people. Now that's what I like. When the game gives you like, oh, if I do this thing, and I add it with this mod, and then I put this artifact on, and Moses got this shield on, and you take a tree that no one else has taken, and it leads to a totally unique result that ends up being really powerful. That, to me, is a great game. That's when you've really balanced it and designed it well. Like, I've heard talk about Diablo and how they do their balancing, and it just seems like what they do is they... kind of like what Bungie does a lot, just fucking smash the fix in there. You know, it's duct tape. But we're not going to actually be able to rework the entire structure of the balance. So we'll just... buff this to shit, nerf this down to the ground, and then see what happens next. Whereas a game like Dofus or Guild Wars or World of Warcraft, you you see a lot more options. And people still come up with new things. That keeps games alive. That's my take. Nursing this shit, man. Going back to the sham, the risk of the bee is not paying off. I'm saying it's a good thing, but a lot of games have the same struggle. It's really to overcome. Path of Access did well by making it different content, require different strengths and challenges. Challenge for building is not necessarily good for devs. A build for running maps is not necessarily good for devs, for example. Well, then, I think you and I are basically on the same page there. A lot of games struggle with it, but I'm saying Borderlands should not be one of those games, because even Borderlands 1 didn't have that bad of a bottleneck. Like, in Borderlands 1, because the scaling is linear, you can still run purples at the end. You can still run a double anarchy. You can still run... Some shotguns are still viable that are purple. Some snipers are still viable that are purple. Force mashers are still viable as purples. And in Borderlands 2, where your strength is, hey, we have billions and billions of guns. We have more guns than anybody has. We've got tons of class mods. The thing is, they're aware of it. I mean, when they did Nox, even though Nox has some problems, they added a meat and potatoes endgame. It's very simple, but it works. Chase these rare unicorn weapons like the Jacob's Unforgiven Masher and etc, etc. And you try to find a perfect double anarchy, and you can still feel some vertical progress with your character and start to maximize your DPS. And then they added, instead of fundamentally changing the balance, what they added were some really unique class mods. So like, first rocket launchers. Rocket launchers don't really work in Borderlands 1. Their damage is way off. So what do? Instead of like doing this really elaborate fix, they did the hard fix, but what's cool about it is they did it in a way that made me feel like they were really knowledgeable about their own game. Like, here's a rocket launcher, it just shoots 20 rockets. But they added the Ancient class mod, or Brick. So now Brick actually could run a tank tree with the right shields. They added the Iridian Warrior class mod for Lilith, so now Lilith could actually run Iridian stuff. So there ended up being like 4 builds for each character that, if you're willing to farm and willing to look for it and think about it, you could start to craft. They do a similar thing in Borderlands 2 with the Bunkers and Badasses DLC, because you get all this like chaotic evil monk and some interesting weapons that were within the direction the game's meta was taking. But all the third-party DLC doesn't have a lot of items that it all match. Like the Seraph weapons are all generally shit. There's a few that are good, but you really need Gearbox to do their handcrafted love to the game. They're the only ones who really... They seem to be able to read their data well and figure out what direction the players are taking and how to create a better role-playing experience within that. So I'm not too worried, but I think that they're on our side in that, and thinking that if everyone is playing Sal the exact same way, that's a problem. But rather than nerf that Sal, make other Sals viable. Destiny would just nerf that Sal, and then no one would play Sal. Whereas Gearbox in the past has been like, alright, let's throw in a cool class mod and throw in a new shield and see if they'll grab onto this. I just went into my own fucking shield. Grenade. Gearbox could have fixed the Nox glitch, but didn't, because it brought a lot of endgame. It wasn't good endgame. I mean, you're literally just doing a fucking glitch, but the thing is, that was an endgame. Simple as it was an endgame. And it was cool that they were actually able to add that they were, I mean, aware back then, 10 years ago, on a console game, that endgame was getting to be a thing, and that people want to grind these games for a long, long time afterwards, so offer that to them. Of course, Borderlands 2 has good endgame. Good-ish. It's much broader, that's for sure. There's a lot more to do. But I always, honestly, I found it less meaningful after playing Borderlands 1. I really thought that the hunt was better. There was more incentive to do the hunt in Borderlands 1, because you knew that if you got say, a Jacob's Unforgiven Masher, you were OP. And in Borderlands, you start doing that fucking samey loop where you're leveling and leveling, but everything's scaling with you, and the guns are getting weaker and weaker, and so you're leveling just to be weaker, or you're running in place. There's a good reason this game is, you know, a classic. all-time classic, but it's the later stages, that second year of content, year and a half, things get a little more weird. I'm thinking a little bit about taking a risk. 2 pistols seems risky, but that fire sniper's not doing the job quite like I'd like. My baby daddy, what the hell is this? If you're gonna go down by the enemies, Jesus. We need health. Oh, that sucks, man. I don't want to die out too far outside of this shit. I was just trying to kind of get my bearings again. These guys are gonna knock me. If I want to be knocked, I need to be close to stuff. I think we were better off running a sniper in there. That's a strange flying pattern I've never seen before. What the fuck? Look at that thing. They're just being so obnoxious. Only thing that sucks is the reload on this conference call is not very good. Kind of gone down a damage build, and when we didn't really need damage, we just needed really longer gun zerking and survival. I've been thinking more towards the end game rather than towards a build that's more suiting for the first playthrough. Because that is a thing. I mean, you want to rebuild, respec later. It'd be a stronger tree. We probably could have gone down a stronger build for the kind of content we're doing. It just would have involved some survivability, which we didn't give ourselves hardly any of. Say what again? Pickle, pickles, what up, Wreckers? Iron! Spin here, man. Wreckers, one of my... God damn it. God dang it, I should say. Yes, that's it, too. Yo! Hey, look at that. Water's on the grind. Watch out. Here we go. Wreckers! Iron! Wreckers Iron is a really talented guy. He's one of my favorite people. He's got a super wide variety of life experience. He knows a little bit about everything. He can talk on a huge variety of topics. Holy shit, we're still alive. He's hugely talented. He's a veteran here on the platform. He deserves a lot of love. He deserves more love than he gets on here. Been enjoying his back into video game streaming. He's gonna be doing a Borderlands playthrough soon. He's been playing some Final Fantasy on stream. He knows a ton about the industry. He's a great dude. Check him out. Yeah. We've been here pissing people off. How are you doing today, Wreckers? I hope you're well. What's the latest on the TV? Holy shit, we did it. Here's your Gallahorn. Obviously, we're not going to use those purples, so hell with it. Oh, that hoarding war dog. Feels tempting right now. I'm going to try it. We're going to do a lot less damage, but reload speed would be really helpful. Oh yeah, pistol damage, 5 for your life, that's worth. Thanks for the shout out. Yeah, we're all kind of good. Trying to set up a place that's really cramped. No idea how I'll play in here, but I'll work it. We're gonna get a new overlay done for the new tabletop release on Friday. What's the new tabletop release, Records? Reality's... Oh, my bad. Reality's Edge Cyberpunk skirmish game. That's interesting. I don't think I've ever seen you do it like a Cyberpunk piece. How's work treating you? What game is API error? It might be art. He was mastering the API error. Whoops. I have it. So you will be. That'll be sweet. That's gonna be sweet. Be excited to see what you do. Do you sell the pieces that you do? I know you keep a lot of them in like a case, but is that kind of like how that works? Is people who want to play the game could just buy pieces off of you? We're in trouble. And a reload is definitely faster. Damn. This little TDO is starting to lose its oomph. We're not doing as much damage. We don't have that money shot chanked all the way up to like 7,000. I've been playing for something for I've been waiting for something sci-fi cyberpunk to paint stuff for. That's exciting then. Yeah, you've been doing a lot of fantasy stuff. This will be a nice break. I don't sell. I sometimes do commission, but usually do it for charity stuff. Is that one of the reasons, like, in that style of games, is there people who just paint, like, I know you play the game on occasion, but you do more of the creative stuff than the playing. Is it like the people who just want to mainly play buy their pieces? Is it all like you build your own pieces? Is there set pieces like chests, or is it like just whatever your mind can imagine, and then that piece is like given a role, like, oh yeah, that's a defender, that rat's a defender, but then you can just make whatever the hell you want. Oh yeah, that's an attack unit. Fuck, that guy's gonna die. We just committed the ultimate error of Borderlands, which is to kill a guy right as you go down. That magazine just held out long enough. How are none of those hitting? What? The customization depends on the game. I see. Anyways, that'll be exciting that you get to paint some cyberpunk stuff, and I'll be looking forward to your overlay. That'll be cool. Good luck figuring the TV thing out. Seems like it is quite the challenge. I know you've been working at that for a minute now. Run! Run, pow, da 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 da. They're still chasing us. And they succeeded in catching us. And I used to do 100% runs casually, and now it's been like, oh man, this is quite a lot. I used to just fucking always 100%. I just felt like I needed to. It's gonna be close, dude. Fudge. That robot right there that's hurt. He's our second wind. We're grinding second winds too much. We're in trouble. Should have had the Torag out from the beginning, and I probably, honestly, I'm thinking about trading that bandit pistol. Selling this TDR and grabbing that bandit pistol. Unless it's already gone, because I don't see it in the buyback option. So I sold it in here. Oh, it doesn't matter. It's universal. Oh well. We'll make it.